Long ago I wrote a book called The Divine Agama, and I never released it. And in this book I write of the various traditions, many other traditions and everything. Even like Zen, different cultures, apart from the Indian cultures. So today I thought I will share that topic with you. And this topic I want to explain because you will understand Agama better. What is an Agama? Later I will go and explain what is a Tantra, like this. And but the example that I'm going to talk with you is on Christianity and Agama. Yeah, because it's easy for you to understand when I talk. If I talk about Agama in the Tantric tradition, it's a little bit difficult to relate with because the words, many Sanskrit words, many concepts that are not easily legible for us. So if I talk the Christian Agama, also similar difficulties are there because a lot of us have left Christianity many years ago. It has become in the West an alien ideology. But what I wanted to share with you is the concept of monism, or Advaita in Christianity. Everyone thinks Christianity is like a monotheism, blah, blah, blah. I want to share the older culture, the culture of monism. It's quite weird because you have to trust me, because even if you go and look for books, they're not the same as what I'm talking about. And traditions are also going different as times going by. So I ask you to trust me, and then I can slowly build more and more. Then you will understand the Agama completely, and then we go into the details of practices and this and that, and you will really like it. So why not all this kind of stuff. It is a very sensitive topic for many people in the modern times. They look at Christianity as a weird ideology, and some of them love it, some of them don't like it, blah blah blah. They've been brought up to understand it as not ideology of freedom. But I am from India, and I was taught all this by my grandmother, and my grandmother is a very free woman. You cannot get another woman who is so free. And so I am very pleased to share this with you because my grandmother has always shared all this very happily. And I have happy memories that I want to share with you. And also, as Christmas is coming, I want to share a meaningful Christmas with all of you. And so, please be happy, make your heart very glad. Your face also as smiley, and don't feel that this is not Tantra. I have been studying Tantra almost like 50 years maybe, so I know Tantra very well, and Agama and all these things. And I also speak many languages. So I want to share all this. So be happy, be happy. I keep talking about this concept of divine compassion, and also not only compassion, I also talk about the absolute or infinite compassion. And I always say, and in the traditional systems, the text says, the Son of God, Christ, is compassionate. And we don't give too much time to reflect on what it means. It also, even in the monotheistic interpretation, it means like a human being who is incarnated. He's a son of God who has come in this planet as a historical personage, and he is being compassionate. He's showing the path of compassion. Yeah, something like Gandhi of India. But in the older traditional systems, which is I'm much more familiar with, when you take the concept of monism or Advaita, Advaita means non-dual. We cannot split it up. Everything is absolute, absolute consciousness. So when we take consideration of this term, absolute consciousness, then it is a basis for the concept of God. God cannot be a relative phenomena. If he is a relative phenomena, you all know what is the word relative and what it refers to. So God is the word. If you utter the word God, it's consciousness, divine consciousness, and it's absolute consciousness. Yeah. So this is the basis, and the sun cannot be separate from that in the monistic interpretation. Yeah. And many countries like Armenia, Moldova, Romania, many of these countries, as far as Rome, have this this concept and the culture in their celebration of the festivities. Yeah, all the festivals are still carrying the meaning of all these things. So let's look at this concept of the birth of the divine compassion. Yeah, it's a very important topic because this compassion is also in the Buddhist teachings, and the Buddhists, like bodhisattvas, are the compassionate ones. Yeah, so they are also there. Then it is called karuna. Yeah, in Buddhism, and in Indian philosophy, you can read in the Bhagavad Gita, Karuna himself, the compassionate one, is there. So it's a universal, how would I say, phenomenon. It's not unique to only one community or one society. So let's look at all these things today. So on the 25th, let's just say, tentatively, that you go into the calendars, the Orthodox Christians, the Protestants or Lutherans, all differ in their mathematics of the calendar. They differ because they are upholding their tradition. Therefore, they will be slightly different, not really colliding with each other. Nobody is saying that Christ was born yesterday. So we have 25th as the tentative. We don't go into the mathematics, so we just keep 25th as the birth of Christ. So when we look at Christmas, then that is the day Christ is born, and he is born in the manger, the cowshed. India is very, very fond of cows. We love cows. So anyway, cow for us is a symbol of abundance. Abundance in the sense, not like don't please listen to these modern interpretation like those days they were dependent on animal, blah blah. It is a symbol. In the symbol there is no animal. It's a symbol of abundance. So when you look at this birth of Christ, then you see very clearly that it is the celebration of infinite consciousness as compassion. Yeah, the aspect of the infinite consciousness, that is compassion. So this infinite compassion is very meaningful because through just the realization of the word compassion, it's like a mantra. You can realize freedom, the highest freedom. Because it's like you are connecting with the highest. And this is what we call meditation in the Tantric world. Anyway, let's go into all that. So when you look at it, so on the 25th he was born in the manger, and I was just saying the cows are abundance, and in the Rig Veda itself the cows are abundance, and creation, symbol of creation is the cows, and Christ is born along with the symbol of creation. Because his compassion is the one which gives us the experience of this world reality. Yeah? This is very similar to Tantra. We'll go a little bit later and you will realize. So when he was born, and then everybody is celebrating, there is the Christmas tree, there is the promise of Santa Claus, Santa Claus is bringing gifts for children, all these things are there. So when we realize You see, when you look at it, the three wise men from the East. There are three wise men from the East. In the Agamic traditions of India, they are actually Brahma, Vishnu, and Rudra. So in the Christian tradition, there will be similar divinities. See, in India, we take the concept of Christ. I use the word concept, forgive me for only now. The divine consciousness cannot be a concept, so we understand him as very analogous to Krishna. So if you look at the Bhagavad Gita, I don't know if you are aware of the Bhagavad Gita, the Vishnu Agamas, the Vishnu traditions of India. See, there are 6 Agamas in India. The Shiva Agama, which I am initiated into, and then we have the Vishnu Agama, the Vishnus and Krishnas, etc. The Hare Krishna is a part of the Vishnu Agama, I think you are familiar with this idea of the Hare Krishnas. And then we have Skanda, then we have Ganapati. Skanda is, in India we consider him as the son of Shiva, And so, like Christ is the son of God, like that. So then you have Ganapati, the elephant-faced God, and then you have even Buddha, and then of course we have Shaktis and the Tantras and blah, blah, blah. So Agamas are 6 in nature in India. So we consider Christ as an aspect of Agama, because I wrote this in my book, the Divine Agama, long ago. It's mentioned in the Divine Initiation, which was written in 2001. So these Agamas, they are very analogous. So in India, we worship the compassionate aspect as Krishna. Yeah, and I don't know if you are aware of the paintings or things like that. So in the Western zone, he becomes Christ. In India, we believe that Krishna, and the colloquial language, colloquial name for Krishna is Cristo. Cristo. In the local villages, they don't say Krishna. It's Sanskrit Krishna, but in local colloquial languages, it becomes Cristo, like this. And then we believe that Christ is an aspect of the same. So they're very reverent to the churches in India. In the past, I don't know if it's going on today, because today everybody's angry with everybody. So I want to say that my title, Bhagavan, my name is Shanmukha, but my title is Bhagavan, like a Lama. It means I know all the 6 traditions. Yeah, so therefore I am called a Bhagavan. I also want to say that actually the goddess Mary, the mother of Christ, is actually goddess. I think we got through the Lord's Prayer and the Hymn of Mary. I think we gone through, Melania. We talked about it.
We talked a little bit in the first group, but with this group we didn't mention. We just mentioned roughly.
Okay.
That we kind of.
I will come back to it. So, Mary is the mother of God in the Catholic tradition. Yeah, it is very clearly stated in the what do you call that prayer, Melania? How do you say it?
In Spanish, we call it Ave Maria.
Ave Maria, okay. That's what I wanted to know.
Ave Maria.
Yeah. So, she is the mother of the God, mother of God. And she's explained there very well. So, but you see this name Maria is also in India. You will be surprised if I tell you all these things. I would like to share, because I would like you to know, that from very early times, we call mother Amma, yeah? And we call mother Mariamma, Mari Amma. Maria is goddess of the Catholics. Let us just put it, but it's Christianity, it's today's Catholicism, today's Orthodox, all are kind of, don't like each other too much. This is modern phenomena. We don't like anything, like this. But in the ancient times, their Mother Mary is Mother Mary, So in India we have the name Mariamma, and it's very old. It's not new name. You can find in all the ancient texts. And then there is a temple. If you go to the very southern tip of India, where you go down to the tip, there is a temple there, about 2,300 years old, 500 years old, very old, before the Testament. And it's called like Virgin Mary, Kanya Kumari. Kumari means Kanya, K-A-N-Y-A. Kanya means young woman, girl, and Kumari also means that. Kanya means a maiden, one who is not married. So it's very analogous to the concept of Virgin Mary. It's not like alien. It's not alien in India. We have very similar goddess. So I am saying that the whole world of philosophy is one. The world of anger is many. Few miles up, you get, few miles in India will be few 100 miles. So in there is a church called Belagadi Church. This is a very important church for the Christians of India. Yeah. So it is very revered in the vicinity of the Kanyakumari temple. The last temple of the southern temple of India. So what I'm saying is that there is very analogous concepts and cultures. So I want to share all this with you. So when we go, there are, this is just added information, and I think you will appreciate it. Christianity in India is quite old. It's not new to India. We have the concept of the Christianity that came from the Syrian Christians. And there are churches, there is at least one church in Chennai that is coming from St. Thomas. It is identified with St. Thomas, and it has a historicity quite early, quite old. It's a very small church, but it has a connection with St. Thomas, the concept of St. Thomas. But anyway, let's come back to the birth of Christ and Christmas. So we were saying that he is infinite compassion, an aspect of infinite consciousness, and so he was born in the manger, the cowshed. So we are saying that when he was born there, then you see, it is celebrated, because infinite compassion is a beautiful concept of self-realization, deeper self-realization. Here we are talking about metaphysical realization, not just our feelings and not just our ideas, mental ideas, and then all that. Christianity is very, very profound. So they're talking about the metaphysics, how we are going to transcend. So this metaphysics is represented by your Christmas tree. Can you believe it? The simple tree is very profound. This Christmas tree is the same tree that, is like the chakras in your body. It's an outward representation of the inner chakras. So this tree is a tree of tattvas, and if you want to use a word from the Hebrew tradition, it's called Kabbalah. Yeah? So, Kabbalah, tattvas, and so the tree represents life. Tattvas represents life, right? How you, some of you may not have heard me talk about tattvas yet. Please just forgive me and just imagine the divine consciousness and coming through us to experience this dimension of life. And the tree symbolizes this lifeless, the divine, the absolute consciousness, and the changes that occurs. And then in the eventual experience, it becomes our life, ourself. and the experience that we have, and that we call the grace. Yeah, in the Tantras, yeah, I'm talking Paratrashika Vivarana, it's a grace, Anugraha, it is a Sanskrit word. So when you're looking at it like this, so imagine the tree as a symbol of cosmic representation, the tattva, the life, and the experience as the cosmos. That is your Christmas tree. And therefore, the tree has a lot of light, a lot of gift, a lot of things that are dangling there. The tree is very profound. Let us just use the word symbolism now, yeah? A very profound concept. The tree of the grace of existence. That is the tree, yeah? How from absolute consciousness, pure compassion, that is Christ, and then the changes that allows us to become human beings and have a human experience. So the tree is very, very profound grace. It's a symbol of grace, divine grace. So when you're looking at divine grace, you see, it represents Genesis, yeah? So you see, Santa Claus brings a lot of gift. He brings a lot of gift, and then he's so fat like me, and he goes through the chimney. It's very, very interesting, He goes through the chimney, which he will get stuck. I wouldn't go to any chimney, but he goes, and then he gives the gift on the tree, or he places gifts. Yeah, so when he places gifts, and children rejoice, this symbolizes the grace that he brings, and then, because Christ is there, it has to be celebrated, because this is, ultimate compassion. And he's giving gifts for the new generation. Children represents new generation. So there's a lot of light, because light is Genesis, and you have the whole world experience expressed in this symbolic tree on the 25th of December. I want to share this with you all, and it's really beautiful because it's a yantra. Do you understand what's a yantra? Yantra is like a metallic diagram in Indian tantras, or colorful in mandala in the Buddhists. They have very colorful paintings, these, that, the mandalas or yantras. So this is actually a very beautiful symbol, because a tree also represents pure consciousness, because it doesn't have brain. A tree doesn't have brain, but it lives, it has consciousness. So it's a very beautiful representation. I speak about the consciousness of a tree in a book I wrote very early in 2001 called The Divine Initiation. I speak about this. But anyway, coming back to this concept. So you see, the Santa Claus is talking about the Genesis and the generation that is to come, that is to grow, and they are the children. Santa Claus, he comes and then he offers a lot of gift, make happy, because Genesis is occurring. And he is the first one to acknowledge the Genesis. And in India, the first one to acknowledge Genesis is Ganesha, the elephant god. I don't know if you've seen the picture of the elephant god. The elephant god symbolizes a continuum. A continuum hollowed, a re-representation, like the father and middle world and then this world. So the middle world is represented in India by the elephant god. But in the Western world, Santa Claus is the middle realm, and he is ushering or calling for the grace to happen. And he's sharing the grace with the new generation of children. So he is an aspect of creation. It's not to be laughed at as, sometimes today they think, he's just a modern invention by the, Finland, or some country. And even there, I think in Wikipedia or somewhere I saw, they're saying that the Coca-Cola, Coca-Cola made Santa Claus. This is because if you don't understand, it can be even Pepsi, It's very sad for me to hear that Santa Claus is the creation of Coca-Cola. It's the other way around. Coca-Cola borrowed the color of Santa Claus those days. You understand? To make a Christian statement in USA. There's a long history I can explain one day when you have really free time. So let's not disturb this flow of Santa Claus. It's very beautiful. It's a Ganesha. You see, Ganesha is also in Japan. The elephant god is also in Japan. The Western representation becomes Santa Claus. In the Eastern representation in Japan, there is two elephant gods hugging each other. Two elephants holding each other very happily. That's called Kangiten in Japanese. So in India, he's an elephant god all alone sitting there very happily. So he is also representative of pure knowledge, because in creation, knowledge is a very important concept. So because Ganesha is the middle dimension of change, then you can see, he has two colors, white and red. Yeah. Really sorry that I didn't explain the concept of sattvas and rajas and tamas earlier on. I'll explain next time when we meet. But when you look at the white color, it's called sattvas. Sattvas means like pure essence. Yeah? So that is white. And then rajas, the dynamic aspect, is usually represented in India also as the red color. Full of energy. And then the third color of tamas is black, But in creation, you cannot have black. You have sattvas, the pure essence, that manifests. The manifestation is the genesis, and the genesis is red in color. Yeah? So therefore he's wearing the red and white outfit, It's not because of Coca-Cola. Santa Claus is part of the divine consciousness, it's not separate. It's for our explanation that we have different aspects. And look at it, then you have the whole metaphysics and the genesis explained very well on the day of Christmas. We realize okay, how from the absolute consciousness things unfold to become pure compassion, then how it becomes pure knowledge that is represented by Santa Claus, that becomes creation, the experience of creation. There are two aspects to the experience of creation. One is the pure knowledge aspect, which is in, I think the traditional Christian word is called gnosis, and then there is this manifested experience of this gnosis, the Maya and the world of experience. So Santa Claus represents pure gnosis. He wants to share the pure aspect of knowledge, like the DNA of the cosmos, yeah? And of course the grace that allows us to have the experience of this world, yeah? It's very, very beautiful. I say all these things, I many times say all these things so that you enjoy yourself, you enjoy your history as valid as the Tantric history, as valid as Buddhist history, then you feel well within yourself, feel complete. You're not just following the trends of the world, I want you to be very empowered, very knowledgeable, and very strong. So even if you study Buddhist Agama or Shaiva Agama, the Shiva Agama, the changes that we are talking about are similar. If you really study, if you and if you understand this, I can explain the culture of the Agamas, the Tantras much easily. What we are doing, what we are going to do, all. It sounds like religion, but please forgive me, it's not religion. I'm not interested in religion myself. If there's no scientific basis, I'm not there. But then I don't want to be limited by some silly science, you know what I mean? Some baby science, and this is called science. And I'm a thinking human being. So I want to have a real nice understanding of things. And I'm wanting to share this nice understanding of things so that you also can appreciate yourself, your history, how to empower yourself. Empowering yourself is taking away all illusions and coming to realization of the true aspect of history, self, and all these things. I want you to really celebrate because it's a very beautiful culture. It's something really beautiful. And so I wanted to share that with you all, I thought it's something that, you will celebrate, you know what I mean? You be happy, be total, be complete, and that's why I wanted to talk this topic.